Hello everyone, happy Thursday. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Thursday morning. I am coming on before I get too far into the afternoon so I can do this. I'm taking my son school shopping, so I'm going to be out shop till you drop this afternoon. But wanted to come on really quickly. One of the scholars in the Work Masterclass right now sent an email and she wanted some clarity on ghosting. It had come up as a topic in class on Tuesday night. And she's, I'm going to, of course, keep her confidential. I didn't ask permission to talk about her specific question. But in essence, she's saying, she, as someone who's going through her healing work, she's establishing new boundaries and wanting to keep new boundaries in place. And then also someone who has gone through a lot of situationships. She's been in very long-term situationships. And one of the things that the healing class is asking of her is to, put these boundaries in place, put people, take a time out from people, which is what the 30-day detox did for her inside the Work Masterclass. And then in putting them on time out, right now it's after those 30 days and then she has to decide to pick these people back up or not. One of those people being someone she was in a situationship with. And she's wanting to leave them alone. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to, interact with you anymore. That's one of the reasons she's taking the healing class, is to get out of this situationship like that she's been in for multiple years. Anyway, so that brought up the topic of ghosting. So to make a long story short, that's how I got on this topic for today. So ghosting is one of those things that people have really strong feelings about, right? And most of the time, people who have really strong feelings about ghosting have been ghosted, which is why you have such strong feelings about ghosting, that you feel it's not mature, it's not fair, it's not right, it's not appropriate, it's not all kinds of things, You see all kinds of advice. Don't ghost people, be mature, things like this. You see this across social media. And guys, in reality, hello, Star Trail 64. Good morning. Finally able to catch your message live. Hi, sweetheart. Welcome to my channel. And one of the things that people don't want to talk about, though, is that there are some instances and situations and people, so there's a lot of variables to this, guys, right? A lot of variables to this. Because of course, my puppy. He hears me talking, guys. If you hear the puppy, I'm sorry. There's a lot of variables to relationships. There's a lot of variables to different situations that people are in or dealing with. There's different personality types. So let me say this, and I'm going to speak from my own experience. When I was single and dating, guys, there are certain personality types that no matter how you try to communicate that you are not interested, or that you're no longer wanting to see them or date them, or that you're not a fit. It doesn't matter how well you choose your words. It doesn't matter what you say. They're going to be triggered, or rejection is one of those things for them that you're going to find yourself in a huge conflict, confrontation, argument, or you're going to be getting attacked verbally by simply you expressing that you no longer want to engage, date, interact, whatever it is. Okay. And so I have been in that situation where you try to be the bigger person. You try to be the mature, well-intentioned adult, and you're not wanting to lead someone on. So you try to let them know, instead of ghosting and just disappearing on them, that, hey, this isn't working for me. Or I mean, it's one of my favorite lines that I would use all the time is, this is just not a fit for me at this time. I'm going to back away from dating right now. I've got things going on, blah, blah, blah. All the types of things you have to say, even if you just simply don't like someone. And I have been verbally attacked, verbally abused. You itch. I don't know who you think you are. Well, I didn't even really like you anyway. I mean, the person that has been crazy about you, chasing you, wanting you so bad, acting like they couldn't live without you, and all of a sudden you're saying, I don't feel the same way, and now you become the spawn of Satan, you become the most evil person in the whole wide world, and gonna get called outside your name. No, Hardy, you sit down. Sit. Ooh, my puppy's going crazy. And so people who talk about not ghosting, obviously you haven't been in situations where you're dealing with very volatile people that you could literally be dealing with craziness by rejecting them. And nowadays people act even more crazy than 10 years ago when I was single. People act nuts. You could end up getting your car keyed. You could end up, I mean, guys, I hear so many freaking crazy stories across social media. People are so sensitive now to where rejecting somebody, it comes with the like inherent risk now. Now you have to really stop and think about, is this person really stable mentally? Is this person about to wild out on me? Is this person about to threaten me or stalk me, right? Because once you have that conversation, because you're trying to be such a good person, you're trying to be so nice, right? And here's the thing. Now you got a whole crazy situation on your hands because you can't control their reaction. You cannot control how they're going to handle you letting them know that you're not interested and you don't want to date them anymore. Now, here's the other flip side in another scenario. Here's the other side. If you are somebody who is very nice, very sweet, very giving, when you go trying to announce to someone that you no longer want to date them, especially if this is someone you have been dealing with in and out of like a situationship, it's not going where you want, but this person doesn't ever leave you alone. This person is always kind of trying to keep a string on you, even though they don't want to commit, even though it's not reciprocated, even though this is not going where you want it to go. Every time you keep trying to make these announcements that, okay, I'm not seeing you anymore, you know, I'm moving on, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You make these announcements because you don't want to be ghosting. To be honest, your subconscious psychology behind why you keep making these announcements is because you want them to say, no, don't leave. Oh, I'm ready. I don't want to lose you. There's this subconscious psychology at play that's motivating you to want to have these announcements for why you're no longer seeing this person. If you've been dating somebody a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and it is not going anywhere, and you are not in a committed relationship, guess what, boo-boo? You don't owe nobody no explanations. You're not even in a relationship. How do you owe this person anything and you're not in a relationship? You do not owe not one more conversation trying to explain why, for your own personal well-being, why you've got to cut this person off and why I need to leave you alone. They know why you need to leave them alone. They just don't care because they're getting all the benefits of you. And every time you go to have that one last conversation because you don't want to ghost them. You don't want to be one of those people. It's just leaving the door open, leaving the crack open for them to slither their little snaky self right back in. No, baby, you know, I'm working things out. I'm getting ready. Don't do this. You know, we were just starting to get somewhere. Game. You know, I just worked through this. You know, my mama just died. You know, I just got done taking care of this DUI. You know, I just got out of this. Game. And nice, gullible people fall for it. Okay, so I'm going to take Star Trail 64. Ghosting is so immature, bad enough when young people do this, but it's pathetic when people in their 40s and 50s do it. Better to say this is not a good fit than to just stop cold. Better off. Okay, I want to give you a different perspective, Star Trail 64. As a mature person, you're saying, I would rather you just let me know instead of just disappearing, right? That's what you're saying, Star Trail. And I get it, right? I get it. However, the problem is, Star Trail, that 9 out of 10 people, I'm going to say you're the 1 out of 10. The other 9 out of 10 people that you try to do that with, or that he's tried to do that with, while out on him, act crazy, start tripping. Now you got practically where you got to get a restraining order on somebody because you had one conversation where you're letting them know this is not a good fit. So Star Kentra, you have to understand that when you're out here dealing with people and meeting people and dating people, you got people who have been through traumatic experiences just trying to have that mature conversation. Just trying to let you know, hey, you know, right now I've decided to go in a different direction. I'm not going to be dating anymore. I'm doing this, whatever. And they don't hear none of that. All they hear is rejection. CHB 2975 in my Martin Lawrence voice, crazy and deranged. And you have to understand that what you're asking of people is assuming that the majority of the world is well balanced and mature. And the majority of the world is not well balanced or mature, no matter what the age is. You have 40 and 50-year-old women and men who are out here trying to be mature people in the dating world. They just let somebody know, oh, I'm not interested anymore, or I'm going to have to move on. And they literally, it initiates a whole crazy, deranged, traumatic experience. And if you go through that 1 or 2 or 3 times, guys, this whole thing about that's pathetic, be mature, that goes out the window. Because when you're on the receiving end of somebody's crazy rant, where they call you call you out your name and act so freaking crazy because you don't want to deal with them, you will begin to change your mind about ghosting. You will begin to back away slowly. That was me. If I'm having to like let somebody like, this isn't working for me, honey, I don't know if I would call it ghosting, but what I would start to do, Star Trail, because I'd been through too many traumatic experiences where people went crazy on me, I just start like backing away slowly. I stop responding to text messages, right? I stop. I'm like, I'm not going to respond as quickly until eventually I just stop responding to where they can get the message without me blatantly telling you I'm not interested. Because it's something about blatantly telling some people that you're not interested and they just lose it. People only think about ghosting and how it makes them feel less than enough. Most of the time, it's not working out, turns into a barrage of questions of why, and then that person becomes the bad guy. Exactly, Jadelicious. Exactly. That's exactly what happens. You could let somebody know, I don't really feel we're a fit. Then they're asking you, well, why aren't we a fit? Well, why don't you like me? What did I do? Because the people who have problems with this tend to have low self-esteem. The people who really struggle with this, right, have things going on inside of them that has made them become so attached to this person, put all their eggs in that basket, or they don't like dating anyway. They haven't been dating other people, even though this person wasn't even really just committed to you, right? And then you're mad and upset because in your mind, this was something. Can I tell you, people are delusional. Women and men are delusional. They imagine something being something, whether or not that's what it is or has ever been spoken or communicated, doesn't matter. In their mind, it is what it is to me, and that's all that matters. And then here comes the drama. And that's right. Be the one, Irvin. There's no right answers to the whys that are asked. None. Exactly. You cannot give any answers that are going to make them feel better about themselves because they're already struggling in this area. They already have some things going on inside of them that make them feel like they're not the biggest catch or that they're going to be rejected. Right? And so the thing is the people who are against ghosting, And the people who kind of quietly understand why ghosting is sometimes necessary are like on two separate sides of the fence, right? Lena Boo, this guy tried to talk to me last week. I told him I wasn't interested. He called me a bitch. Guys, have you seen these women being attacked, assaulted, when just by simply saying, I'm not interested or no thank you, and a man literally goes crazy and attacks her and assaults? Right? Stacey King, you make another great point. If you're having sex with an individual, there's a spiritual connection. Stacey King's making a really great point, guys, right? Because nowadays you could be having these casual relationships with people, casual sex, casual interactions. It does not mean that they are your boyfriend or girlfriend. It does not mean that that's your boyfriend. It does not mean that that's your girlfriend. But this is why ghosting now gets so personal too, because all of a sudden they start disappearing on you and you are all in, having sex with this person, talking to them like that's your boyfriend or girlfriend. You were all in. Now they change their mind because they were never even in a relationship with you to begin with. They were just getting the benefits. You just thought they were interested. You just thought this was going somewhere. You just thought because you're acting like a girlfriend or acting like a boyfriend. But that doesn't mean that that's what the situation is just because it feels that way. Just because you because you really, really dig them, because it feels like they really dig you. You don't know what that person has going on. Miss Finesse 83, honestly, I feel like it all depends on the situation. I've been ghosted and I have ghosted, LOL. Exactly. And that's my point, guys. I'm telling the student, the scholar who's in our work masterclass, she's got this situationship that has been going on for years. This connection, this situationship with someone who's been going on for years. I said, block him. Block him. If she tries to go in having a conversation, why this isn't working, do you think he's going to stop texting her? How many times before has she said, I'm done? How many times before has she tried to back away? How many times before has she tried to end that messy situationship? How many times before? Do you think he's going to respect her saying, leave me alone? Respect my boundaries. I don't want to talk to you. Do you think he's going to respect that? No, she's already shown him over years, that she's not going to leave him alone. She doesn't have the capacity to leave him alone. She's not serious about leaving him alone. And he knows I don't have to give her any more than what I've been giving her in order to keep her around or get the benefits of her. I do not have to commit to her. Right? So now, if she really, really wants to exit him from her life, to be done with him, she's got to block him. On every platform, every form of communication, she has to enforce her new boundary. Right? Enforce her new boundary. Why? Because he's not going to respect it. She's got to block him. And this is the thing, guys. So before you say, oh, blocking's not mature, ghosting's not mature, you have to stop and think about where not ghosting has gotten you, where not blocking people has gotten you. There are instances and circumstances and situations where you're going to have to ghost people. You're going to have to block people. You've given them every chance under the sun. If they wanted to do any better, they would have done it by now. If they wanted anything different from you, they would have done it by now. Right? Literally, you've given them every chance under the sun. Thank you, sweetheart. Rebecca, you look beautiful in your hair. Thank you, honey. What if you share children and blocking is not an option? One of the things I instituted with my ex-husband for a year, he was blocked on my phone. I told him he could only reach me through email, and that those emails would only be opened and read pertaining to our children. Nowadays, emails come across just like text messages on your phone. And my thing is you don't need to be texting me. You don't need to be talking to me. Unless there is a major emergency with our children. I had to institute some really strong boundaries with my ex in order to retrain him to respect me, in order to retrain him to respect boundaries, that you just don't have free access to me, that you're just not going to be calling me, texting me, interrupting my peace, interrupting my life because you off on a tangent or rant or whatever. Because emails also, guys, who are in the middle of, you have divorce stuff, custody stuff, children, all this stuff going on, emails can be submitted to court. So guess what? People don't tend to put messages, messy messages, crazy messages in an email because you simply can print it and submit it to court and it's time-stamped. So people who are dealing with exes and children and all this stuff, literally for 1 year, I put my ex on time out. He was not allowed to even communicate with me unless it was about the children through email. Mistreatment was always unattractive to me. I was strong enough to not block people and just ignore. And a lot of people just don't have, you know, the ability to just ignore people. You know, sometimes that's really, really hard for people because it just feels so rude. But yeah, blocking is definitely protecting your peace. Labru Jamulata. Yes, I had to block someone out of my life because my boundaries were not being respected. Exactly, guys. And that's what I was going to say. Some of you have got people right now in your life that need to be blocked. Need to be blocked and ghosted. Need to be removed from your life. You have given them chance after chance after chance. It's not amounting to anything. It's over. It's done. And if you really want to move on, you have to put those boundaries in place for yourself. For yourself. Okay? It's for you. It's for you. You have to do it. And if you know that someone is not emotionally stable or mature, you dated them just enough to know that they are not emotionally stable or mature, why do you think they're going to have a very good reaction to you ghosting? They're not going to have a good reaction. They're not going to have a good reaction to the conversation. They're not going to have a good reaction to ghosting. There's no win-win when you're dealing with unstable people. You can't win. There's no right thing for you to do. The only thing that will make them happy is being with them, choosing them, validating them. And if you're not doing that, then literally anything you do is going to get a bad reaction. Period. And that is part of dating. That is part of life, guys. You're not going to make everybody happy and make yourself happy too. You're just not. You're not going to like everyone that likes you. Everyone you like isn't going to like you. And when they stop responding or they stop initiating or they stop asking you out, you have to understand that that means they're not interested in you. People who are interested in you are going to show it. They're going to show it. They're going to show up. They're going to be consistent. The minute someone stops being consistent with you, they're not interested. And it's your job to have enough self-awareness, enough self-esteem, enough self-empowerment, enough confidence to understand that them not choosing you or you not being a fit for them or them not liking you is just simply a preference. It does not mean that you don't have value. It does not mean that you are not a wonderful person. It means they're not the person for you. You're not the person for them. People take this stuff too personal. Just like you have preferences, other people are entitled to their preferences too. Other people are entitled to say, nah, I don't really like her like that. I don't really like him like that. It's just not my vibe. It's just not my thing. And they're entitled to feel that way. And if you are the person watching this who gets crazy and dramatic, when someone does give you feedback, you are the person that causes people to ghost. When you act crazy, when someone decides they don't want to date you, you are who I'm talking about when it comes to why people ghost. They don't want to deal with your craziness. They don't want to deal with your instability. They don't want to deal with your mental health issues. They don't want to deal with your emotional issues. They don't want to deal with your pain bleeding all over them simply because they didn't choose you or don't like you like that. And that's just real talk, guys. Real talk. If you want to be out here dating, you're going to have to grow up. Grow up. Everybody's not for you, and you are not for everybody. And you have to be able to accept that, lay your ego down, and recognize that that does not devalue who you are. It is only going to be a select group of special people who recognize your value, recognize who you are, that they can even see who you are and appreciate you. Appreciate you. And make up their mind, oh, I'm holding on to you. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're wonderful. And you feel the same way. Do you know how rare it's going to be when it's mutual? When you look at someone like, oh my God, he's absolutely awesome. Oh my God, she's absolutely awesome. Do you know how rare that moment is? Here's a good example. I was stalked for 1 year. He is doing 15 years in prison for trying to kill me just because I no longer was interested. He just wouldn't take no for an answer. Do you see why some people ghost? I guarantee you, Tasha tried to have some conversations. She tried to be a mature adult, a good woman, a good person. She tried to have a conversation with him or several conversations where she's trying to let him down nicely. She's trying to let him know that she's not interested, and she's trying to do that in the gentlest, because guys, good-hearted, kind, nice people, they're not trying to hurt people's feelings anyway. They're not trying to have an argument or a confrontation anyway. So you're already going into that conversation kind of walking on eggshells because you're afraid of what someone's reaction is going to be anyway. She ended up with a stalker who tried to kill her because she's trying to let someone down gently. There are some people out here, it doesn't matter how you slice it or dice it, it's rejection and they can't handle it. You're better off saying nothing. I went through enough experiences where this dude's crazy. This dude's crazy. Like I could have been just like Tasha. That's what I felt. I felt it in their reaction. I felt it in the anger. I felt it. Like, ooh, I'm so glad you don't know where I live. Oh my God, I'm so glad I never, went out with you or let you pick me up. Ooh, because you cray-cray. There are people out here, guys, who are not well balanced. Anyway, this is my video on blocking and ghosting. Ghosting and blocking, it goes hand in hand. Before you so quick to judge people who ghost people, understand we are living in days and times, guys, where your life could be on the line. Just like Tasha. Just like Tasha. Hey, Lady Gabby, I'm Rebecca. I just finished watching ROP on replay. Awesome, love. Like, just like Tasha, guys, you don't even know it. Your life could be on the line with one of these crazy people while you trying to have this nice little conversation. Oh, I just wanted to let you know. And in the meantime, he's like, this crazy bitch, I'm about to get her. How dare she? Yikes. Scary stuff, right? Be careful dating, guys. Be careful. Be careful. Be safe. You should not be letting people know where you live. You should not be letting people know where you work. Keep your guards up. Everything that glitters isn't gold. You could meet somebody and they just seem like the best thing since sliced bread, honey. And that might be a crazy stalker in the making and you just don't know it. You don't know it. You guys, we live in days and times where it's crazy. And you've got to protect yourself. Fellas, I'm talking to you too. Don't think that a crazy chick can't ruin your life. Can't make up her mind that you're supposed to be her husband and When you reject her or you let her know you're not interested, she go on a rampage trying to ruin your life. It's real. It's not just in the movies, guys. It's real. Rejection, being a spurned woman, a spurned man, guys, it's real. And you just may not realize the depth of their issues. And someone mentioned narcissism. You got a lot of narcissists out here. They cannot handle rejection. They literally cannot handle rejection. And then narcissists, on top of that, don't believe that the rules even apply to them. So do you think they believe in obeying laws? You think they care about laws? You think they care about the legal system? They don't think the rules apply to them. They think they're special. They think they're above the rules, above the law. They think that no matter what, they are supposed to get their way. They're supposed to get what they want. They're supposed to win all the time. Scary. Scary, guys. All right. I'm taking my kids school shopping. I love you. Blessings in abundance. I will talk to you guys soon. Right? Oh my God. Lady Gabby says, I have a friend that found out the guy she was dating was married and has a domestic violence record. Unfortunately, he spent time at her place and knows where she lives. See what I'm saying, guys? You letting people up in your house, you don't even know. This dude's married with a record. Crazy. You could be sleeping with the enemy. You could be literally setting yourself up to get got. Guys, you got to be wise out here, and you have to be safe. Wise and safe. You guys know how I feel about background checks. You know how I feel, honey, about protecting you and your assets. You guys know how I feel about this stuff. For real, for real. I'm going to teach my kids. I'm telling you, you cannot be safe enough out here in these streets. You cannot. People are not who they appear to be. All right. I love you guys. Blessings in abundance. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great Thursday. Bye.